2020!
Oh my god, I was not ready for that much enthusiasm. You didn't warn me.
Shannon is shook by my enthusiasm
Oh
because we were
my
just like
god.
talking calmly, and then I hit record, and it's like, "Hi everyone, I'm a beam of fucking light. The new
Jeez.
decade is here, and God, it's so exciting." I was just telling her the future is here. Everything's chrome, everything's super exciting. Not actually, life is still the same, and it's quite monotone at times. But it's the new decade, and that to me has to mean something. And I'm just like hopeful for the future. For all we know, we could get nuked this year by North Korea finally. So all we have left is just hope and optimism, and we might as well use it up before we all die in a fiery blast. So
Oh
happy
my
2020.
god. This is like a time capsule, and people are gonna look back and be like, what the fuck?
It's okay, Shannon. If that indeed happens, literally no one is gonna look back because if we get nuked, no one's surviving. Not in this country, at least. Anyway, hi, Shannon. How are you?
I'm good. I ate so much spaghetti. I am like 100% carbs. Like, wow.
I always think about. I sometimes think about that. The thought exercise of like, oh, if you eat 1 pound of nachos, and you weigh 99 pounds, and now you weigh 100 pounds after eating, are you 1% nachos? And I guess that's it's true. That's how it works.
Oh my god. Well, I also think as you chew, the nachos lose their density, and so it might not actually be exactly 100 pounds. Um, we're already arguing. No, let's not worry about that. Moving on. Um, anything new with you, Andre?
Um, I had a fun New Year, like the actual like thing at midnight. I saw a couple of fireworks. David and I went to somewhere to like see, like listen to some music. It was like a party. It was weird. It's like we went to this park in LA, and there were lights, and that was really cute, and then there was music playing, and there was like a DJ in the middle surrounded by all these people, and the DJ was dressed in like this robot costume, and it was really cool, whatever, but like the music was kind of low, and I was like, this isn't loud enough, like it feels weird. I feel like everyone can listen to me breathe, I don't know. And then we saw like fireworks from afar. That was okay. But I guess the real highlight was I went to Six Flags that same night, but like around 6, 7, 8, and it was fun. It was cool. It
Wow.
was the last day I could use my season pass, so I made sure to make good use of that, and it was cool. So that was my New Year's Eve. Beyond that, nothing else is new. Wow, a whole decade already, and there's nothing new that I can tell you. That's crazy. Um, yeah, you.
Wow. Well, I'm super jealous that you went to Six Flags. That sounds so much fun. Um, so much better than my New Year's Eve. But what are we going to talk about today? To kind of.
I'm, I'm not gonna make you go into detail if you don't want to.
Oh no, absolutely not. We're not talking about that.
Let's talk about something more interesting.
Yeah.
Today we are doing Dangerous Games Part 3. I love this, so I'm happy we're doing it. It's up there. Well, I mean, I don't want to take favorites, but also literally, who cares? And it's our podcast, so I love this topic. I love Missing 411. I love that. I'm not talking. We love that. I know what Shannon likes, and I know what she doesn't like. I like the dark web topic. I love that. So there's gonna be more of that coming soon for sure, because I'm gonna force Shannon. And at some point, you know what? We should do another. Oh my god, what was it? We should do another reincarnation episode. I think that'd be really
Mm,
interesting.
yeah, I could see
That
us
was like
doing
way
that.
back. Also, sorry to everyone that already listened to episode 50, which you should have by the time this goes up. Um, uh, Let us know if you're excited that we have 50 episodes. I sure am. I know it's so like like trivial, but like to me that's like a big number, and that's a lot. And yay, we did it! Clap effects. Anyway, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say I don't think anyone asked for this episode, like a part three, but you know what? We're giving it to you anyway, and that's what you get for 2020. So I don't know, suck a
Yeah,
dick.
this is your gift. Here, take it or leave it.
Oh
Some
my
people are gonna be like, I'd rather suck a dick. That sounds like more fun, and that's fair. Listen, dangerous games aren't for everyone. I mean, they literally are not for
I
everyone,
mean,
because not everyone is. A lot of people are avert to the feeling of danger, like me, not like Shannon.
Some could say that
So
sucking a dick is a dangerous game in and of itself.
it can be very dangerous. It all depends on size and practice and mechanisms. So
All right.
I'm glad we're talking about this.
Yeah. Would you like to go first?
Yes, I'll go first.
Okay.
So, dangerous games. Okay, so all of my games, dead ass, like they're all related to phones, and I kind of love it. It happened by accident, but it is really cool because like they're all about phones, and it's I don't know, I like it. It's really creepy and ooh, reminds me a lot of. It gives me a lot of like one missed call imagery. You remember that shitty American remake of that Japanese movie from like the early 2000s?
Yes, and I
You
hated
don't?
it. It
Oh,
was
okay.
so bad.
Yeah. So today I'm gonna be talking about the Answer Man. Shannon, have you heard about the Answer Man game? Sometimes it's also referred to as the Phantom of the Answer, and it's a I know, I mean it does kind of sound yeah. It is said to originate in an East Asian country. We don't know exactly where, but this game is really popular in Japan, as most terrifying games are. Which I kind of love that. That's great. A lot of good stuff comes from there. Um, uh, there's anyway. So apparently this game has been popular among Japanese kids for like in the past decade, basically. Oh my God, we're in the new decade. Anyway, so this is a thing, but like recently it's crossed over into like the English speaking world, and now people are doing it here. It's appeared on like a couple like posting boards, and so people are getting like the hang of it and they're trying it. So this game basically consists of well, actually, I should read it the way that kind of the article kind of lays it out, which is like players, requirements, and then like the actual instructions of the game. So you need 10 participants to play this. So I can't because I don't even have 10 friends. No. And you also need 10 cell phones. Burner phones are recommended. So this is an expensive spooky game. You need to buy burner phones, 10 of them. You can begin at any time and in any place. You gather all 10 participants in a circle, and now guess what happens? Each participant gives their phone number to the person to their right. That is, each participant should be able to call the person to their left. On the count of three, all participants then should call the person to their left. If all 10 participants then receive a busy signal or the call goes to voicemail, the ritual has failed. The article recommends that you do not proceed. And if this outcome emerges, you can try again later maybe, but at the moment you should end the ritual. If 9 participants receive a busy signal, however, or the call goes to voicemail again, but only for 9 of them, the ritual has succeeded and you may proceed. If this happens, one participant's phone call and only one will be answered. The participant will hear a voice begin to speak on the other end. Then you have a conversation with this voice, and this is the next part of the game. So the conversation consists of the following, and it's crazy how like these spooky games are so well like recorded, like step by step. Like damn, okay. The participant whose call was successful may ask the answer man a question. The participant should then listen carefully to the answer. Okay, so I told you how to make the call. So now the conversation. So this part of the game kind of details what happens once your call's answered by the answer man. The participant whose call was successful may ask the answer man a question. The participant should then listen carefully to the answer. By the way, what would you ask? I'd be like, but am I really gay? That'd be my question.
What? You are. Stop being weird.
What
Oh my
would you ask?
God. Ah, will I ever be able to eat dairy again? Because I really, really want some ice cream.
That's sad. Also, I don't know if this is gonna make you feel worse, but like I'm lactose intolerant, but all of a sudden in the last couple of months, it's been hitting me less. Like, so boo you, I guess,
Fuck
and
you.
yay me.
Fuck you.
Same with hot stuff. Like, I don't know if I've told this story. I'll be like super succinct, but in college, like literally overnight, I became super sensitive to lactose and also hot, spicy foods, and it just like that's just the way it's been for a couple years now, and recently in couple months, like in the last couple of months, like it's kind of gone down. Both things. I can have flaming hot Cheetos again, which I literally could not for years, or I would explode. And it just happened overnight. The way it came, it's the way it went, and it's just kind of crazy. Um, I mean, not fully,
Oh my god.
but like it's gone a lot, and it's kind of crazy. And I'm so happy. My mouth is so happy. I love Cheetos. Anyone who wants to come for me, you can. I'll take you out for some Cheetos. Anyway, um, okay. So after the answer man gives his answer to your question, he will in turn ask a question of you, and girl, you better answer that question honestly, or it's gonna be bad
Oh.
for you.
Ooh,
You
I love it.
must answer his question according to the steps of the game, and the answer must be honest, truthful, and correct. The participant may repeat this process as many times as they like. However, when the participant has received all the information they require, so let's say you're playing and you're done playing, you'll ask them his 5 questions, you know all you wanted to know, and you've given him answers in return, and you're good to go. What you have to do now is end the call by telling the answerman that you must go. The answerman at this point may attempt to keep you on the line, possibly by offering information for free. Do not stay on the line. The participant should repeatedly state their need to end the conversation, according to the article. If the participant is persistent, the answerman will say goodbye and hang up. At this point, the call has been terminated. After the call has been terminated, immediately destroy all cell phones used to conduct the ritual. By the way, I'm reading this from theghostinmymachine.com. This website is really great, and I used them before for the other two Dangerous Games episodes we've done. They have a lot of they have like a whole Dangerous Games subsection, and it's really great. Great website. Anyway, after the call has been terminated, immediately destroy all of the burner phones that you used for the game, and that's it. Um, thoughts?
I need to know what happens. Like,
Yeah. Okay.
what question does he ask you?
Right. Okay. So I can't tell you what questions he asks you, but I can tell you from what I read. Um, he'll be really persistent and want to keep you on the line, and say, "Oh, I'll give you information for free now." But I mean, he's just trying to keep you on the line. Like like he tries to trick you, because like technically, yeah, it will be for free because he'll answer your questions without asking you a question back. But like according to what I read, like eventually he'll try to trick you and like throw a question at you. I really would. I wish I knew exactly how that worked, because like it's like he technically isn't lying, but then you're tricked, and then you have to answer a question that he gives you, but the question is almost impossible to answer because it's almost a subjective question, and so you're almost bound to answer incorrectly or inaccurately, and therefore now he can take his pay. Which, if you don't answer one of his questions honestly or truthfully or correctly according to the game, is like he takes something from you, and usually what that means is he takes a literal part of your body. According to the game,
Oh god.
yeah, yeah. So it doesn't even have to be like after he's tricked you. Like, let's say you just asked your first question, and then he asks you a question in return, right? Because that's how the exchange works. Okay, well, if you feel embarrassed by what he asked, for example, and you don't want to answer that question, and you lie, he'll know you're lying. All of a sudden, you'll feel a tingle on a part of your body, and that part of your body he will take. some 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 versions of the game say that he like a gnarly hand comes out of the phone and immediately grabs that part of the body and takes it. Um,
Ew.
yeah, other versions, which I think is more realistic, I mean, as realistic as this game can be, say that eventually you will lose that part, either by accident or illness or something, and that's when you know the answerman will have taken his pay, and that's really grim. So imagine like you're like, okay, answerman, does Stacy like me? And the answerman is like, yes, Stacy likes you. Now answer me this question: when's the last time
Yeah.
you pooed in your bed or some shit like that? And you're like, when I was 3. Lies. It's when you were 9. And then you like your dick starts to tingle. Like, that would suck. Um,
I don't remember the last time I did that in my bed. So is that part of it? Like, he can ask you something you may or may not remember?
I mean, looks like, yeah. I mean, I feel like until he gets to the trick part, he probably will answer questions that you will know the answer to. The only way you wouldn't give the answer is if you were lying. I doubt he'll ask like, when's the last time you peed your bed? Like, because he wants to get something from you, so I doubt he's gonna waste his question on something that is stupid or you can't actually fully remember, whatever. Um,
What if he was like, Andre, what? Who was doing the vocals on Britney Jean?
oh my god! And what if like Will I Am was like sitting next to me? He's like my friend, and I was like, oh shit. Brittany. my fucking left arm starts to tingle. Oh shit. Okay. So anyway, so yeah, that's basically what happens. It's recommended that there's a couple additional notes on this game that I thought were interesting. It's recommended that participants save the phone numbers required for making the call, for easy dialing. Okay, blah blah blah. More interestingly, it is not recommended that participants who have successfully called the answerman pass the phone around the circle or allow multiple participants to ask questions. There's a reason the answerman picked up that particular call. He's not content to talk to just anybody. So, important to note that if you're going to play this. It's also not recommended that you put him on speakerphone because he's shy. And do not fail to destroy all the cell phones used to conduct the ritual as soon as possible after the ritual's completion. Even if you've hung up, or even if you were among the 9 who were unable to connect in the first place, you never know what might try to call you back. So, yeah, spooky. What? Yeah, no.
I'm trying to be spooked, but the whole thing is just like, I can imagine that voice on the other end of the line being like, so what are you wearing? You know what I mean? And it just becomes this big like scary movie skit, you know?
I know it is a lot, but it is interesting, and I don't know why. I literally do not know why, but I actually tried this.
What?
Yeah, not with 10 friends, so that's probably why it didn't work. But at the time that I tried it, I didn't realize that it had to be 10 people, and it went by a different name. It wasn't the Answer Man, so I guess I thought it was gonna work even if it was just 4 people. It was 4 people.
Wait, when did you try this?
A couple years ago.
Oh.
Yeah. So. Yeah, not that ballsy anymore. I mean,
work?
but even then, it wouldn't have worked. I guess if this is how the game is actually supposed to be played, because then I did it wrong. But
Ooh, who's messing with demons now, Andre?
I mean, not now. New decade, new me. No more messing with demons. Also, yeah, I don't want to ruin my brand, so I'm not gonna go further into that because I am the safe one, you are the reckless one, so I'm not trying to tarnish my brand. Anyway, yeah, so I mean, to go more into detail about, because you asked about this, the Answerman's offer. So do not accept the Answerman's offer for free information in exchange for staying on the line. He is a master at exploiting loopholes. He will find a way to ask you a question, and he will find a way to make it a requirement for you to answer that question. When this question comes, it will be far more difficult than any of his preceding questions. Indeed, it will likely be impossible to answer. Should you fail to answer, as he intends, by extending this offer, you will get a tingle and get your fucking arm ripped off. So, there you go. Or, just don't play the fucking game.
I don't think I know 10 people either. Except for my coworkers. I don't think they want to do that.
Yeah, fair. Also, don't hang up on him. That was something that I found elsewhere. That wasn't in this article, I don't think. And it was interesting because, like, I was like, oh yeah, the article didn't mention that. Don't hang up on the answerman. He doesn't like that. It's bad.
What if you put him on hold and take another call?
Yeah,
it's like a really
that's the thing. Like,
call.
no article has like very clear instructions on what to exactly, and also like, is this a paranormal entity? Is he a real person? Like, I'm very confused. I mean, it must. I don't know. Like, is he an entity because he's able to like make you feel tingles in your body, or is he just a person that maybe has like connections with the occult and so he uses black magic? Like, I have no idea. Feels to me like this is outside of the realm of like our realm, so it's not like a human, it's like something else, but who knows. But yeah, there's like a couple of like gaps where like not everything is exactly explained. Like, okay, so what if you hang up by accident? Like, do you then die? I don't know. Anyway,
yeah.
What if your phone dies and like
Then you should have switched to Verizon, bitch. Just kidding. I think
Never.
I think it has something to do with battery.
That's my first one.
Well, I like that game. I don't really want to play it though because it sounds like a lot of money and a lot of work.
Yeah.
Um, aside from that, A plus, good job. Very impressed with you.
Thanks.
And I'm gonna start with a kind of, I don't want to say cliche, but a old, tried and true game.
Ooh.
I did a little bit of a different approach than normally, because normally I would do the same thing you did, where you kind of periodically go into how to do it and what the rules are.
Uh-huh.
But because the ones I chose are pretty straightforward, I'm going to kind of cover that, and then I want to read a couple of Reddit stories that are supposedly true of people who tried them.
That sounds great. I love that.
Alright. Alrighty. So, this I want to open with is a historical overview of the game Light as a Feather, Stiff as a Board. This is by Sarah Coughlin. Have you ever heard of this game?
Yes. I don't think I've ever played it. I've definitely seen people play it. I might have been at a party once where they were doing it, and at that time, I'm sure I had no idea it could be anything satanic or anything like that. So I probably was gonna do it, and then I just didn't for some reason. So good for me, I guess. Depending on what you tell me now, I don't know. Let's see.
Yeah. Okay. Well, this is a pretty well-known one. They did it in the movie The Craft, which is like a 90s movie about witches, obviously. And the basic premise of this is it's kind of like levitating a dead body, or in this case, it's going to be an alive person. But it's basically a spell or ritual, and it's just a fun party game you can do with your friends when you're in high school, right? Okay, so this is the way you do it. So one person lays down and crosses their arms over their chest, coffin style, and everyone else kneels in a circle around that person. You can have as many people as you want. If you want it to work, it's probably suggested to have a little bit more people. I would say the minimum is four people, and then one person laying down. So the person seated near let's just call it the body. The person seated near the body's head takes the lead and directs everyone else to tuck their index and middle fingers under the liftee's body. So you're only using those 2 fingers on each hand. You can use both hands though. So you're putting underneath the body. Then the leader, who's still seated at the top near the head, tells a story about how this person laying down died. And then they start a chant, and this chant is supposed to bring the spirit back into their body. As you know, the chant goes light as a feather, stiff as a board.
Uh-huh.
So you're all going to be fingers underneath the dead body, light as a feather, stiff as a board, light as a feather, stiff as a board. And while you're chanting, everyone begins to raise their hands, up, basically. You're trying to lift the person. You're trying to send them floating. And so the idea is that all these people working together, you're bringing the spirit in, and it begins to float on its own. And that's basically the ritual. And in theory, historically, this is supposed to be to bring someone back from the dead. Since it's just a game, it's just a party trick of levitation to see if you can actually do it. And
wait a minute. Wait, I mean,
what?
I feel like I'm getting confused. Is this the game where you do something with your arms and then you keep them there for a while or something like that, and then when you move again, your arms move by themselves up? Is that the game?
No, also that's an actual thing. That's science.
Oh, okay. That's what I was thinking
Yeah.
about when I told you about my friend's party. I was like, oh no, what you're describing is
No.
a full-on witchcraft ritual. No, my friends were not playing that. You get all in a circle
Yeah.
and there's a fucking fire and there's a body and everyone's raising their hands chanting. That's not what they did. No.
Oh my god. Yeah. No, that thing in the doorway, it's where you put your hands against the insides of the doorway for 10, 15 minutes, and when you step forward, it lifts up. Both your arms at the same time. It's I don't know what causes it, but it's pretty cool.
Interesting. Okay, yeah, so slightly different game.
Oh, slightly different. Yeah, for sure. So The first account of anyone playing Light as a Feather, Stiff as a Board came from a diary that was in a 17th century Englishman. His, diary. He was named Samuel Pepys. So this is from July 31st, 1665. So Pepys says that Mr. Brisbane, his friend, told him about a group of girls reciting the following chant over a boy who was laying down. So I'm going to read it because you know me. And this is Latin, or is it French? I'm not sure what it is. Voici un corps mort rede, comme un bâton froid comme le marbre, léger comme un esprit, leve toi au nom de Jesus Christ. And that means, behold, a dead body, still as a stone, cold as marble, light as a spirit, we lift you in the name of Jesus Christ. Very creepy.
Yeah.
Very weird.
I don't like that.
So all of the people surrounding the body raised their fingers at the same time, chanting this, saying. And allegedly, the girls managed to raise the boy into the air using only their fingers. Mr. Brisbane said that they were able to replicate the trick with someone else, supposedly the cook of the house, who was very big. And this was around the time that the plague was hitting Europe, so it's kind of assumed that it would be fine, that kids would be playing games about death, but that's just that's like the first instance of anyone playing that game. So if we're going to talk about like what's actually happening here, because if you talk to random people and say, hey, have you ever played this, some of them might say, yeah, I have, and it definitely works, but then we have to take into account, were you drunk? Were you remembering properly? Was it just super fun? I don't know. So one of the theories is that it's just like we underestimate the strength of our fingers, and maybe you literally did pick them up, because that's like if you have 6 people all lifting one person, like maybe they're only like 110 pounds, let's say that. You could probably do it. And then just because it's like a party, you're having fun, you're like, oh my god, we made them levitate. But if it is something magical, then, that's something else altogether, and we don't have to talk about what's causing it, basically. It's just kind of assumed.
Yeah.
And this is, I would classify it as a dangerous game because you're messing with magic, and as we know, if you don't know why you're doing it or what you're chanting, you're, opening things up, and you're letting in the possibility of badness. You're messing with forces you don't understand.
Would you do it? Would you do it?
Oh, absolutely.
See, that's the thing. Like, I love that you're like, I definitely classify this as a dangerous game. Also, as one of my top 5 must-play games, because it sounds like super fun.
It does.
Yeah, I love this for us. We definitely need to play at Gorge, so...
Well, because I know exactly that people want to hear things that are scary, and even though it's not scary to me, it's scary to them, and I gotta respect that.
Yeah.
So I want to share a story this person posted on yourghoststories.com. The user's name is twisted_individual. This was posted in 2010, so it's 10 years ago. Holla, what up?
That is crazy. 2010 was 10 years ago? Holy shit. Wow.
Yeah, I know, right? So, I kind of just took where it got interesting. So I'm skipping the beginning of this person's story.
Okay.
Not to be too offensive, but a lot of backstory that's super unnecessary. So I'm going to read it mostly verbatim. So during my 7th year in grade school, I had a slumber party with girlfriends, Shannon, Randall, and Carrie.
God,
I made it
there.
into the story.
Yay.
No. Actually, the state says Illinois. Once they arrived, we discussed our plans for the evening. I wanted to do something different. Shannon then mentioned a game called Light as a Feather, Stiff as a Board. That fucking whore. Just kidding.
I know, I'm telling you, God.
Okay, so they kind of looked up what it was about, and they were like, okay, that's cool, we'll do that. And she says, before we started playing, I realized one person was missing. I called my friend Yasina to see if she was coming over to my house. I told her about our plans, and she refused to go. I said, why don't you want to come? And she said, the game you're playing is considered witchcraft. Did you know that? And I said, I don't believe in that stuff. It's only a game. And Yasina said, if you play that game, you are calling out to the devil. And Yasina was right. Okay, I added that last part. Um, so they still continued to play the game because obviously our narrator was not just gonna stop with that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So this person, the narrator, was the first one to lie down on the floor. So her friend Carrie was above her head. So Carrie's the main, like the leader of the game. And Randall and Shannon on the side. So that's only 3 people. So that's not a lot to lift one person. I guess I don't know how much she weighs. But anyway, everyone started to chant light as a feather, stiff as a board. They said, I was waiting to be up in the air, but I did not feel a thing. 8 minutes later, I opened my eyes and asked them if it worked. They all said no. So we gave it a shot for a few more times, but still nothing. Afterwards, we were all bummed out. We decided to go outside in the middle of the night, around midnight, and walk around. 1 hour later, we walked back to my place. As we were getting closer, I saw that all of our lights were on. Then I saw my mom standing near the stair railing below the chandelier. I said, crap, I'm gonna get grounded for a week. But as we got closer, I realized that it was not my mom. The person I saw was wearing a worn-out white sleeping gown. She had purple circles underneath her eye, and she was on the edge of the stairway, leaning forward. I asked my friends if they were seeing what I was seeing. They all said yes. And they were kind of like, that's really weird. So they ran into the back of the house and entered through the back, through the sliding door, and she ran and she checked out all the rooms to try and find her, this woman, which I guess isn't the best thing to do, but I'm not going to judge. But they couldn't find her. So an hour later, they gave up and they went upstairs. Randall and Carrie slept on the floor next to them. Shannon slept on the bed because that's what Shannons do. They said, as we were trying to sleep, Shannon started shaking me. I woke up and she told me to look at my blinds. I saw the woman's shadow. It was like she was standing outside of my window with her arms stretched out near the sides of her body. I said, it's just our imagination. Let's try to go to sleep. So as we were trying to sleep for the second time, Randall and Carrie started screaming. And they said, we started to hear voices coming from your closet. And then 10 minutes later, Randall got up from the bed, walked to the door, and turned around. And when this person, the narrator, looked at Randall, they realized that it was not Randall. It was that strange looking woman. And so what they did is she was like, hey, look at this person. Is that Randall? And they were like, no. And so one of them got up, turned on the lights, and everything was back to normal.
That's creepy.
Yeah, so the next day, this person calls their friend Yesenia, and they tell Yesenia everything, and Yesenia was like, well, that lady might stay in your room for a while. How many times did you play that game? And they were like, well, 3 or 4 times. And she was like, she's going to stay in your room for a week. So basically this person didn't sleep in their room for a week, and they are genuinely scared of this game now. I kind of like this because it definitely feels like it was really written based on like their experience, because like, and I don't say that very often, but this is not like a short story type thing. Like, it's very much like I could totally vouch for this. Like, it's not flowery, it's not grammatically like sexy. Like, you could tell this person was just like telling it. I don't know if they were embellishing, but I like the idea that just like playing games and doing weird shit can cause stuff like this to happen. And I also love that Yesenia is such a bad bitch.
I know.
So, yeah, I know, right?
I mean, I like the idea that stuff like this can happen, because I think it's kind of a cautionary tale. Like, I mean, if it wasn't already clear, but this is the 3rd episode we're doing on this, like, hi people, these games are dangerous for a reason. Like, don't... I wouldn't mess with them. Like, this is all obviously up to the player and the individual person, but like, my stance on these things is like, it's so low reward and high risk that like, what's the point? Like, go watch a movie, like, go, I don't know, like, literally go do anything else to, like, if you're so bored.
But that's the other thing I like about this story in particular, and I guess like a lot of stories regarding games like this is like, You set out to reach your goal, right? Like they just wanted to see if they can make someone float, and that doesn't happen. And so they're kind of lulled into this sense of security of like, oh, well, that didn't fucking work, so obviously nothing's gonna work. Like it wasn't real. And then suddenly you're called into question of like, okay, maybe it wasn't ever going to work. Maybe all I had to do was say these words, and now something worse is gonna happen.
Yeah,
Like that's what's scary.
I know.
So yeah.
That's dumb. Yeah, people. Anyway, I loved it. I like that one. That was good. Let's not play it.
What have you got for me?
I have the shoebox telephone game. You ever heard of this one?
Oh, actually, yeah, I have. I read that one too.
Oh, okay. So, for those of you who have not, allow me to explain. This one, it's like almost, it's like, it was a little bit painted as like a, oh, like it's kind of sweet because you might be able to connect with like lost loved ones. But to me, all it read to me like was like demons galore in your closet. Basically, is what you're doing. Okay, so um, for this game, you'll need a phone booth. Your closet will do. You'll need a handset, which is going to be a paper cup, and you'll need a telephone box, which is going to be a shoebox. And telephone wire, you can use string for that. So you're basically doing like when you were a kid and you did like a phone with a cup and string. That's what you're doing. So.
Do you think because we're wireless now, you need the string?
I don't think ghosts have caught up yet with wireless technology, so they're still using wire.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like technology moves really slow in the ghost world. So you're also gonna need some strong object to power the telephone box with. In this case, something that you have a really strong personal connection with, and or something that has a personal connection to the person that you're trying to contact. Um, that's I think it's like it can be like, oh, I lost, like if it's like your dead relative, like something that relative owned. But also there are people who claim that they've been able to contact like entities that they've never met. Some people ask themselves like, oh well, can I technically like contact God with this game since you're supposed to be able to contact anyone? And it's like, I guess. Anyway, point is, I'll get into that in a minute. But point is that you need something that you have a strong personal connection with, or the person you're trying to contact had a connection with the object. You also need a sheet of paper and a pen. Okay, so the actual game. You wait till the end of the day, right before bedtime. You clear out your mind, so you're only focused on the game, nothing else. You don't turn off the lights, but do turn off everything else: your computer, your TV, stereo, radio, etc. You want 0 distractions and absolutely no interruptions. You want everything to be quiet. You then just wait for quote unquote the right time, according to this article. And what the right time is it says it's one of those things that are hard to describe, but you'll just know it when you see it. I hate this; it's so vague, but okay. It says that you'll just know in italics. Okay. It says that it may build up gradually, but when but when it's finally there, it'll hit you. Only at this point, when you've hit the right time, may you begin writing your letter. If this threshold of certainty never comes within an hour, just go to sleep and try again the next night. If you've been trying for 3 or 4 nights already and the moment just never comes, then it might simply be that you're not ready for this game, and that's okay. Try a different person or give yourself a break for a few nights. What you don't want to do is write your letter while you're in doubt, because that's a bad move. When you do begin writing, don't erase or correct any mistakes you make. No scribbling over words, nothing. Don't start over, nothing like that. Your first draft is your final draft. Explain to this person why they should give you a ring, or they should call you, and be honest. The personal advice to the person that wrote this article is that you need to let it all out on that letter. Don't overthink it. Just write everything. It all makes sense if you're writing it at the right time. Again, you're supposed to be at the right time. You're supposed to feel like, oh, okay, it just feels right. Anyway, so when you're done, tie one end of the string to the power object, and using a needle, insert the other end through the center of the bottom of your paper cup. Remove the needle, tie a little knot, and now you have a cute little paper telephone like you probably once made while you were a child. Very poetic article. Okay. Anyway, so after you've done this, and you're not supposed to prepare the letter ahead of time too, because that's gonna ruin the ritual. According to this, you're supposed to write the letter only, like like you write. Sorry, I mean don't prepare the paper cup, the telephone before you write the letter. You write the letter first, and then you do the telephone. So you read your letter aloud into the paper cup. This is when you're doing the call, and you read it sincerely, as if the person on the other hand was there and they could hear you, including all the mistakes that you didn't correct. You just read the thing. Then you'll place the object and letter in the shoebox, and place the shoebox on the floor of your phone booth, which is your closet. Then you close the box, but don't seal it. Just let the lid like rest there on it, and with the string still coming out from under and going to your paper cup. Leave the paper cup standing on top of the box, and then leave the scissors on the floor next to the box, because you might need them, and you'll hear why. And that's it. You're done. Now what you have to do is wait for the phone to ring. You may be asking yourself, how exactly is this going to happen? Well, what's your guess?
I already know.
Oh,
I already
true,
read
true,
it.
true, true. Okay, okay, you do know. I forget. Okay. So, the ring will come to you in a dream, either that night or some night shortly after. You will dream of the person trying to call you, and you will wake up from that dream, usually in the middle of the night, and you will know that it's time to take the call. When that happens, don't turn on the light, don't say a word, just get up from the bed and go to your phone booth. If the box is still closed with the paper cup standing on top, then that's great. You can get in the closet, and you can sit down and slide the door closed and go ahead and continue. If you find the box open, or if you find the paper cup knocked over, abort the mission and snap off the string. Don't take the headset anywhere near your ear. Use scissors if you can snap the thread with your own hands, which is why you left the scissors right there next to the box. Otherwise, just sit on the floor and place the paper cup to your ear and cover your other ear with your other hand and continue with the ritual. It may take a while, and you may not speak or move too much, but if you're covering one ear with one hand and the other with the headset, eventually you will start hearing a voice. Again, you may not speak, not even if you are asked questions. The article emphasizes this a lot. Not even if you're ordered to speak. You've already said your piece at the outbound call. Sorry. So just let the person doing the inbound call speak their part. Once they're done, you need to close the box and snap the string. You need to dispose of the paper cup and not put it next to your ear again. And that's it. I mean, it's a really straightforward game. Like, if you had a question for someone who was in the other realm, you get to ask them a question, and they ring you back if they wish to do so, basically. Now, to me, this just ain't it, Chief. Like, I can totally see how this can go wrong. I can totally see how maybe what you're thinking is contacting you, or what you're trying to contact isn't actually what's calling you back. But maybe like someone imitating them. Like, it's just, I mean, if you've seen Ouija, Origin of Evil, like, it's basically like that. It could be someone trying to pass as the person you're trying to contact, and then that can wreak all kinds of havoc. You could become possessed, like, legit. I wouldn't do this. I wouldn't, like, I mean, I feel like if anything, mediums are at that point a safer choice. Like, if you're trying to contact a dead relative so badly, just, like, go to a medium, have a seance, or, like, I don't know, there's other ways to do it. Like, try to do, like, astral projection. I've heard some people, I know we just did an episode on that, but I didn't mention this. I've heard some people say that sometimes they can travel to the realm of the dead by doing astral projection, because their spiritual body is allowed in places where their physical body isn't. I don't know if I would go that far. I feel like if astral projection is real, it really is just, like, allowing you to see, like, maybe beings that are in the same space as you, but you just can't see them because maybe they're in the fourth dimension and we can't see that. But not necessarily dead people. I feel like that's way out. That's not paranormal. That's, like, supernatural. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's way outside of the realm of. That's completely different. Dead people to me are, like, a completely different thing. ghosts are super different than like aliens or like maybe like shadow people, stuff like that. Anyway, um, so my point is, there's other ways to contact the dead. I wouldn't do this. Like, to me, the fact that you have to go into a dark closet in the middle of the night to do this, like, doesn't read too well. I don't know. I feel like why does it have to be in a closed space? Why does it have to be dark? Like, I don't know. I don't know.
Well, what if what if you like assemble your telephone box or whatever, and then you get ready to write out your question, and what you do is you draw just like a really crappy picture of a penis and you leave it in there. What do you think the demon is gonna say to you?
Well, something's supposed to call back, so what's it gonna be? Dick Cheney? I don't know.
What if you hear the phone ring and it's just someone saying blocked and then dial tone?
Anyway, so a note that this article makes that I think is interesting is that if after 3 or 4 nights, like, your callback never comes, maybe this person has nothing to say to you, which I think is like so shady. Like, what if it's like your mom and you miss your mom, and like you do it, and let's say that you've done it before and it worked before, but you do it with your mom this time,
Yeah.
and she just doesn't answer. She's like, I'm tired of you.
Maybe she is. Maybe she's tired of you interrupting her afterlife. Like,
I know.
fuck off.
Anyway, it says that if that happens, that's okay. Just try another person, but don't do it too often. Also, a very interesting disclaimer. It says this game may help you get closure, but it could also make things worse, which I completely agree
sure.
with. I think that once you, like, again, you can't talk during the return call, during the callback, and that's got to be really hard, especially if you're trying to contact someone that, it's very counterintuitive, because like if you're trying to contact someone because you need closure about that person because you missed them or something, or you lost them very very suddenly, like, when you hear their voice, you're gonna want to talk, and then you're gonna mess it up, and something's gonna happen. Maybe the instrument's gonna come up and rip your arm off. um like, I don't
That's
know.
possible.
I feel like it's so dangerous because like you get so emotional, and all of a sudden you start talking, and according to the article, bad things can happen if you start talking. So yeah. Also, let's
Basically,
go ahead. Go ahead.
Andre is saying, "Ho, don't do it."
Yeah, don't do it. Like, I mean, the other thing I was gonna say was like, okay, let's say that you can hold yourself off from talking. That's great, but it could also, like, this could also make things worse for you. This game could make your life worse because you didn't talk, all right, but let's say you find a secret out that you didn't want to actually know, and it's terrible, and you didn't anticipate, like, this dead person relative you were trying to contact told you something you didn't know, and it's horrifying, and now you're gonna have to live with that. And like, I don't, like, I am a firm believer that it is okay to take some things to the grave. Do you agree or not?
Yeah.
Yeah. Some people don't. Some people are really against that. I don't know if you know that,
Yeah.
but like I've met people like that, and I'm like, not like literally. Not even the people I love most in my life need to know literally everything about me, and also every single thing that goes on in my life or goes on in my head. Like, no, like, if that happened, literally, like, if we could read minds, Shannon, the day people can read minds is the day people will realize that literally everyone is like a psychopath on some level. Like, I just, I just can't wait for that day to happen. Like, the world's gonna collapse. Anyway, that's what I have.
Well, I liked what you had. I feel like you chose an interesting pair. You know, we're talking about communication, communicating with the dead, and communicating with the answer man, who's probably, a goofy demon from hell, which is fine.
Yep.
No, I liked it. It was a wild ride, you know? I think I want to try the one with the closet.
You do that.
It sounds
Um,
easier than the other one.
Actually, okay, I don't. I think we're good on time. So I'm gonna do one more. It's also about phones. This one's short, so
Okay.
just to leave you with like an interesting taste. Okay, so this is quite different, a little bit pointless. It also comes from Japan. Um, this reminds me a lot of the doll. What's it called? One Man Hide and Seek. I talked about this in the first Dangerous Games episode. It's very, it's not even like high risk or reward. It's like high risk, zero reward, because I'm confused as to what you're getting out of this. Anyway, so this is called the telephone ritual. You need a phone. you need some salt, a flashlight, and an amulet. And the way you play this game is you first make sure that you have all the things you need, and you wait till after midnight. When you're alone, you turn off all the lights in the house. So already, this is great. Then after you've made sure that it's all dark and that you freaked yourself out good, you lock yourself inside the toilet, inside the bathroom. Um, uh, Oh, it says before you go in, scatter some salt around the around the bathroom door, so that spirits cannot enter the bathroom. Fair enough, salt is a thing. Okay. Next, you use the flashlight to light up the water inside the toilet, like the actual toilet bowl. This is a weird game. So you turn off the lights in your house, you pour some salt outside of your bathroom door, then you lock yourself in your bathroom, then you open the toilet bowl, and then you flash a flashlight into the toilet bowl water. Why are you doing this? Well, because now you have to look at the surface of the water, and now use your phone, your cell phone, to call your home number. You let the phone ring, and you wait till you don't hang up. You wait till either it goes to voicemail or the purpose of the game, until someone answers. Again, you're supposed to be home alone. So if someone answers, dude, you're in fucking trouble. So if you see a change in the surface of the water of the toilet that you're not looking down on, that means that there's someone in the house, and you're supposed to hang up straight away and scatter salt all around yourself, and like stay locked in the bathroom for like an hour or something. It wasn't very clear, like the amount of time, but like for some time until like stuff calms down. If someone answers your call, you are also supposed to hang up immediately. Then you're supposed to run out of the bathroom and scatter salt all around the home phone. If you do that, then you'll be safe for the moment. To be on the safe side, scatter salt all around the inside of the house also, even if nothing happened. I am just confused as to what the purpose of this is. Like, what do you get out of this? I
have no idea.
I liked it because it's really creepy, and just the thought of, having to look at your toilet bowl water is kind of weird. I feel like, okay, whatever. But
I know, right?
I don't know. It's very like Japanese. The Japanese just like love water. It's like it's scary shit having to do with water. Drowned ghosts, scary grudge-looking girls that come out of bathtubs, toilets, all that shit. Anyway, I was gonna say, just I liked it because it's really creepy. Like the idea of, I hadn't thought of that. Like me being home alone and calling my home phone on. I'm not even in the dark. Let's just say I'm in my bedroom and I'm home alone and I'm just chilling, and I'm like, oh, this would be interesting. And I just call my home phone with my cell phone, and then someone picks up and I just hear like breathing. I would shit my pants so hard.
Maybe that's why you're next to the toilet.
That's a great point, Shem. God, your mind. Anyway, like I found that really creepy, and that's why I like this. Regardless, I don't like that it has like no purpose and no gain. It just frustrates me. I don't know. The utilitarian part of me is like, this is a waste of your time.
Yeah, it kind of does sound like a waste of your time. Like, what am I gonna get on the other end of that phone line? Like,
A
what
good
are they gonna
spook.
do for me?
I mean, listen, I guess in the most rudimentary sense, what you're getting out of it is if you're a complete skeptic,
Yeah.
you are getting confirmation that the paranormal exists, which is valuable. Like, I mean, listen, funny enough, Andre, don't actually have confirmation of that. Like me, the fan of the paranormal and the supernatural, don't technically have confirmation of that. Because nothing like that has ever happened to me. Nothing really spooky's ever happened to me. Sometimes, matter of fact, I think that's why I'm so into it. Because it's just like, oh, everyone else seems to have something and I don't. And it's always been so intriguing to me. But the point is that nothing's ever happened to me. And so I guess if I did this game and it worked, I guess technically I would be getting something of value. Unless I die. In which case it was not worth it.
Well, you'll be fine. You have all the salt or whatever.
I hope. Yeah, I'll just eat the salt, cover myself in it, put it in my eyes. It'll be great.
Oh my god.
Everyone, thank you for listening to episode 51. Thank you for sticking with us for over 50 episodes. We also can't believe it. If you would like to send us ideas for future episodes, you can do that by DMing us on Twitter at TalkScary, or also on Instagram at TalkScary. We are also on Facebook at Scary Talk, and we are on all podcast listening platforms, so you can listen to us literally wherever. You can also check out our YouTube channel. It's called Scary Talk Podcast. Shannon, any last words?
So long, farewell. Always make sure that you're near a toilet.
Yeah, basically, you never know when you could shit yourself. I mean, forget being scared. Just, you could shit yourself at any point for any reason. Eat too much spicy food, too many beans. Listen, it happens. Anyway.
It happens to the best of us. Don't be ashamed.
The Mothman is real, so are the Greys. Don't eat too many beans before bedtime, and if you do, just make sure you're sleeping in the bathtub since you're close to the toilet. And we love you. Thank you for listening, and we will talk to you next week. Good night.